So John went through his address book and came up with Darren Jesse from Ben Folds 5.
I wanna run to the high school. I wanna scream at the top of my lungs. I just found out there's no such thing as the real world. Just a lie, got to rise around.
Darren came in and played on a couple of the songs. Nir ended up coming back in and being the guy for those tunes. But it was a real interesting little sidebar.
Everybody's burned out. Everybody's burned out. Everybody's burned out. Let's go home.
So we're 2 weeks into the record, and we've got the tracks. Every measure of every tune is there. And we were really lucky to have that, because making a record in that way, of doing basic tracks first, drums and bass first, and then overdubbing later on, if the first braid isn't right, the braid's not going to come out at all. So we were really lucky that, in terms of what I was expecting, it blew it out of the water. I mean, the record was there. You could hear the tracks. And the good thing about Nir, the great thing about Nir, and David Labriere, who still plays with me, who is as vital a part of my sound as anything is, they really filled these tracks with moments. There hadn't yet really been any guitar moments or piano moments or vocal moments or lyrical moments, but there were drum and bass moments, there were rhythmic moments. And that made it really, really exciting. I felt like, okay, so far so good. So we took it to Easton, Maryland. Will you make the map and make the little red line move to Easton, Maryland?
We can do that.
That's so corny, like Indiana Jones style. I'm not very good at tracking when I'm not expected to. Like, John a lot of times would go, well, you know, the vocal mic is up. You could just do a take and this could be it, while we were still doing basic tracks. I couldn't take it because it wasn't time. It wasn't time yet. So moved everything to this house, literally a living room in this house on this lake in Easton. And we just started. We'd set up and pull the tracks up and hear what we had done in New York through these little monitors in the living room. Just started going.
You look like a Chesapeake Bay rocker.
Keep turning.
Let it be known that I'm not playing guitar on the song. It's John Alacia. The thing about Room for Squares is that it was an example of execution only. I had demoed all these songs so many times at home. I mean, it was just a matter of execution.
Dude, there's some badass shit in there.
You like it? So when it came time to go to Easton and sit down and record this record, it was just like, all right, what do we want to do first?
And this is the Vibra-Slap. This is a pretty arcane-looking device, I know, but it's made to be mastered. It's certainly not to be learned in a day or even an afternoon.
83 was the Vibra-Slap. I just went, I hear a Vibra-Slap here. We got to get a Vibra-Slap. So we drove out to a Guitar Center and just to get a Vibra-Slap.
So first, we start with warming up, which I'm just going to do some light calisthenics. And do the same thing to the left. You have to stay symmetrical, because if you'll notice, a Vibra-Slap is perfectly symmetrical in every way.
We went. Nowadays, you say to someone, I need a Vibra-Slap, there's some guy who tells another guy, go get a Vibra-Slap, and he goes, you got it. We got in a car and drove, you know? And there's something about making a record where you're the person involved in it that is just, there's nothing else like it.
If heaven's all we want it to be, send your prayers to me.
We were there for about 3 weeks, but what happened is, and nobody knows this, I got really sick. And all I wanted to do was finish the record. We were so close to finishing the record. And the vocals just wouldn't work. So we eventually had to reconvene in New York with Lee Dene, who was the A&R person. And she said, go home, man. Go home for Christmas. We'll come back in January, and we'll do it again. And looking back on it, that was a really great thing, because I was able to live with these tunes for a while, figure out where I want them to go, what else they need, what What should I change lyrics? Should I change the way I sing them? And then we ended up finishing vocals at a place in Brooklyn. And the reason that's such a great thing is because this record happened in 3 stages, each stage being a completely new setting, emotionally and physically, that just kept redefining what the record was. It was almost like this assembly line that you run to the next part of the line and catch it as it comes down. And the record has a lot of personality because of that.